Why should kids play hockey instead of baseball or soccer or anything else? Because it's an all-around sport.
Hockey's not something you play, it's something you live.
It's obvious I love this game. There's nothing better than skating out there and feeling that cold wind with across your face, even if it's 7:30 in the morning.
The passion for hockey, I think you could describe as just fast and intense.
When you get injured, you break your finger. It's not like any other sport where you're out for like a month, 2 months, tape it up and you get back in there because you can still help your team win games, and that's what it's about.
That's who we are, we're tough guys who play a tough sport, and again, we're not baseball players.
It's the action. It's the only sport you can fight in. A lot of hitting, a lot of speed. Girls love it, so.
But the team camaraderie here is just amazing. It's unlike any other team I've ever been on.
Montclair State is unranked in their division and is not considered a contender in the eyes of some of their competition. But to the Red Hawks this season, each win and loss carries much more weight than just the 2 points awarded to the victor. For the Red Hawks, each win represents the rebirth of their program. This story is just beginning. Montclair State University is located in northern New Jersey, 11 miles from Manhattan. This year, the school is celebrating its centennial. Montclair is also home to several men and women's varsity sports teams: football, baseball, softball, and soccer, just to name a few. At Montclair, ice hockey is not a varsity sport, but a club. The team receives no financial support from the school, and as a result, players on the team must actually pay to play. Under these terms, it might be hard to believe that a team could endure. However, the Red Hawks have a history that spans a decade.
When they first started here, actually they were a very competitive hockey team. They were very good. The coaches and the teams were very enthusiastic about the sport. They had a lot of fun, actually, and again, it was great hockey.
By the time our third season came around, we had already had our first championship. First 4 years, 100 wins. And it was like, wow, we were able to build with these core young group of guys, and ended up winning 2 championships in the first 5 years.
However, as time moved on and coaching staffs changed, the program slowly began to decline. Last season, the Red Hawks had their worst year in team history. With problems both on and off the ice, the team won only 5 games and were headed toward being disbanded.
It was a group of guys that you really didn't want to be on a team with. I mean, they were a great group of guys off the ice. I would go to bat for any one of them off the ice, but when it came to being on the ice and the hockey aspect, it kind of seemed like everybody wanted to do it themselves.
They were a very unorganized, uncoached group of individuals that were only out there really for themselves.
The last time Red Hawks hockey won a championship was the 2002-2003 season. The team that year, which was comprised of 15 freshmen and was supposed to be rebuilding, defied the odds and became league champions. 2 of the players from that team, Elias and Joe Balance, both recently graduated from MSU. Now busy making their way into what most college students refer to as the real world, the 2 still share a common passion for the game and never stray too far from their alma mater. As they watched the 06-07 season come to a tragic end, they came together and made a bold decision to take over as coaches.
I'm sure when we took over that, some people looked at us like we were last resort because we were so young, or some probably like we were a nail in the coffin, but we knew exactly what we needed to do.
Almost 1 month after the season ended, the team was introduced to their new coaches, whose mentality was implemented immediately.
I am a very firm believer of teams, bonded teams will beat a group of individuals any day of the week. I believe in that like I believe in religion. That's how I coach.
They push each other, and I think it's one family instead of having 21 to 25 different guys just all over the place scattered. Everyone's in one unit. And I think this is what we wanted when we were here.
Knowing that we had somebody coming in, two guys coming in that knew the game, knew what they were talking about, knew how to win, and knew what it takes to win, was really a relief to a lot of the guys that were coming back.
In order to solidify their coaching staff, the two men bring in a close friend to coach with them.
I love the game. I love watching the game, analyzing the game. Being a coach is like just being there to help these guys learn, move on to that next step, and not only become better hockey players, but become better people.
With all the pieces in place, the season got underway. The coaches and team did not get the results they were hoping for.
We started off a little slow as a rebuilding process, kind of trying to work guys into the systems, trying to get guys acclimated to playing college hockey.
They did have some losses under their belt right in the beginning, and they had to deal with it. And they had to come back and play the next game like the last one never happened.
We played decent hockey. I knew we could play better, which was a good thing in my mind. I said, we were 1-4-1. Out of those games, I felt we could have won all of them.
After 10 of these games or whatever, so we're like, what, f this, we gotta start winning.
Today, the Red Hawks play a regional top 10 team. With one win against ranked opponents, the game will either fortify Montclair as a contender for this season, or keep them off the radar for good.
Top of the circle, quick slap shot, saved by Fuck, dives to cover it up. And the final seconds tick off as Montclair skates away with a very impressive 2-0 victory over the 4th-ranked Bryant College. Unranked Montclair protects the home ice. They get a great performance, certainly a win that the Hawks hope to build on.
When we came out and beat Bryant, number 4 ranked Bryant, it was a huge boost for us, and I think that was the turning point. That's when they actually started to take us a little bit more seriously and prepare themselves for when they had to play us, rather than looking on last year like, oh yeah, they only had 5 wins.
The team's hard work is starting to pay off, but the effort didn't start on the ice. It started with a mentality. The Red Hawks needed to feel good about being Red Hawks again.
Lee and Joey, they really got the ball rolling in terms of getting the locker room, getting us new jerseys, getting us something that gave us a sense of home, a sense of a rink that we could call our home.
Brian Crosby was set to graduate in 2007, but returned to school for another year when he heard that Lee and Joe were coaching.
Talked to Lee, looked to the coaches, and I said, would you like it if I came back this year? And they, were like open arms, wanted me to come back, taking a couple classes right now that basically looked good on my transcript, studying for my admissions test for optometry school, and all the while I get to play the game that I love.
Brian, along with his best friend Sean Ginther, was chosen to co-captain Montclair's team for this season. One of the first challenges faced by the captains was to work with the coaches to restructure the team.
We have a team this year that's different from a lot of other years where everybody's taking it seriously.
I think teams are starting to notice that, and we're starting to gain the respect that we think we deserve now. For our program, that meant a lot.
With the team leadership chosen, the coaching staff recruited 16 new players to help rebuild the Hawks.
Some of the other coaches that I talked to, they didn't have any respect for other teams. It was, oh, we're the best at this, we're the best at that. But the coaches here, Lee, Joey, and Adam, and Sean and Gunther, and Crosby, we're just like, we might not be the best to start, but we're starting something, and you could be a big part of that, and that had a huge draw factor for me.
I'm a sophomore. I didn't play last year because of, mainly because of scheduling conflicts as well as the coaching staff. I didn't really feel comfortable with them. So I just basically stayed on the ice all last year, just focused on school and stuff like that.
You got half the team were freshmen coming from all different parts of the state, that come to this one school, and by the first week I felt like everyone knew each other.
I would rather be comfortable here at Montclair and know that we're building a better program than to have a better team and not be happy.
One of the key players on any team is a solid goaltender. Montclair has two. Charlie Kemline and Kevin Fox are the backbone of the Hawks, and unlike goalies on most teams, are actually close friends.
Me and Kevin have an awesome relationship. This is one of the two teams that, we're real comfortable with each other being in the net. We're both, we both can go out there and stop the puck, so there's no animosity towards one another when they're in the net.
I like Charlie. Charlie and I are good.
You guys seem to balance each other pretty well.
Yeah, he keeps me in line.
Fox is like a little puppy. It's very cute to just watch him like run around, and you just want to throw the ball and watch him run after and bring it back to you. He's hilarious though. They're both great kids.
Kemmer's he's the backbone, just like Foxy, and those two guys are gonna really push this team forward in the future. And that was the first step that Joey and I wanted, was to get goaltenders, and these guys just unbelievable.
Past teams' goalies have been like friends with each other, and they like talk to each other, but these two are really close, and it's actually good to see because they both help each other and push each other out there on the ice and help each other off the ice to be prepared and everything.
You'd think that two goalies of their stature would kind of clash, but they mold as well as Jell-O in a cup.
While the hockey team is starting to gel, the student athletes' commitment to Montclair doesn't start and finish at the rink.
School has to be the priority for these guys. I tell them all the time that hockey's the reward for going to school. I can say though, having gone through it myself though, it's a lot easier said than done. The time commitment needed to be part of this team is incredible.
At first I was like, you know what, there's no way I'm going to be able to come to practice 2 nights a week, 12 a.m. Besides all the other time off ice, 2-3 games a weekend, like your weekends are completely shot. On top of working between the week, on top of school.
Monday meetings, Tuesday nights, off ice, Wednesday night, Thursday night.
I would think at first it would just be, all right, like we'll lead up to like bigger and better things. It'll get harder as it goes, but right away they put us to work.
It was really tough. Especially being away from home to start out. I'm a real family type kid, and that's where I wanted to be at first. Even with hockey and everything, I still wanted to be home.
How much time I spend? I'd probably spend about, I don't even know. I don't have much spare time, put it that way.
With such a demanding schedule, the coaching staff wanted their players' priorities to be clear. This is reflected in the team's motto, which can be heard at every Red Hawk function.
Teammates up, Red Hawks! Teammates up, Red Hawks! Teammates up, Red Hawks! Teammates up, Red Hawks!
It just means like that's what we're putting in order. We first put our team itself as a team. We know to win games you have to win as a team. Then you talk about our teammates, which is each individual. Talk about just each individual person, how like we feel for each individual person, and then yourself, which is your last. You have to care about yourself, of course. But in that order, team, teammate, self.
He basically pushes everybody to help the next guy, help the guy next to you. It's not about you, it's about the team, teammates, and self.
For the Hawks' next game, the team will have to demonstrate their commitment to their priorities in the face of tough opposition. For a Montclair State athlete, there is one game each season that is different from all the rest. Tonight, the Hawks will play the school's biggest rival, located just 8 miles away, the William Patterson Pioneers.
They're a tough team, physical, and every year we play them, it's always a good game. Come out hard every time, both teams. There's always a rivalry factor with the 8 Mile Cup involved.
I'm not going to be in a good mood when we play William Patterson this weekend. I don't like them. I can't stand them.
This is like rivalry at its greatest. If you're going to college, around here, you either pick Montclair or William Patterson to play hockey for.
The Hawks take the ice tonight, set for a huge battle against the William Patterson Pioneers. No love lost between these two teams. Expect a physical matchup. Pioneers control the faceoff. Ziza finds Moser towards the slot. Shot, score! Pioneers take an early 1-0 lead. Crosby at the point finds Baxter along the hash marks. Baxter looking, wait, score! Wait! puts it in and ties the game at 1 midway through the first period. Wade behind the net with the puck finds Baxter. Baxter back behind the net. Wade is there looking, finds Kubek, score! Kubek gives Montclair the lead 2-1. And William Patterson looking for an answer. Opportunity right off the draw. Puck tipped down front. Franzoni lights the lamp, ties the game at 2. He beats Fox in the right place at the right time.
After the first period, we had a 2-1 lead. And even after the second period, tied 2-2, it was really anybody's game.
We have a lot of hatred built up for these guys on the ice because they disrespect us. They come into our home and they talk a lot of trash, and they're just cocky, and I can't stand that.
Puck covered up and tempers continuing to flare in front of the net. A lot of pushing and shoving going on. As we'd mentioned at the top of the broadcast, no love lost between these two teams. These two trading blows as they go to the boards, and the officials will break it up. Loose puck in the corner. Eric Zulo and a Pioneer defenseman go spilling to the ice. Lines one up from the point. Save made by Fox. With the man advantage, looking for the go-ahead goal. Ziza lines one up, far point on net. Loose in front, rebound, score! The go-ahead goal for William Patterson, and it is 3-2 here in the third period. Redhawks looking for the equalizer, 2-on-2 opportunity. Quick shot, kick save made by Finnerty. Pioneers looking for their second power play goal. Gomez around back of the net, looks in front. Celentano there, he puts it past Fox.
It hurt, and I wished it was us. I wanted one more chance and one more shot at them. To see them again, carry a cup around in front of us, because they got to carry around the Garden State Cup earlier in the year, and then seeing the 8 Mile Cup being raised by them again 2 years in a row really hurt.
The loss is the last meeting between the two teams this season, but the rivalry is sure to remain healthy for years to come.
The whole experience here for these guys, and I think they'll realize this once they graduate, isn't so much the result of the game, it's what they did together to move forward together. And that's a theme we keep coming back to with the guys, is work together and commit to moving forward together.
Along with practicing on the ice, the Hawks have weekly off-ice training with both Coach Lee and Specialist Mike Alexander of the U.S. Army. Utilizing physical and team-building exercises, the coaches have planned a special off-ice to prepare for the next game.
Lee wanted it to be, I guess, a memorable experience.
That was a rough dry land. It was freezing cold. I remember putting on 2 layers of Under Armour and a sweatshirt.
We ran up to the amphitheater, stretched, and then started our workout in the amphitheater. We had to do striders across halfway up to the top of the amphitheater, and then we had to run the steps up to the top. It was just a very grueling workout.
You gotta work harder than everybody else if you want to win. Who are we playing? Siena!
It's also very important, Siena's the top team. You have to work together if you want to get to the top.
Lee yelled at me because I wasn't doing I'm not going to say everything was always great, but this is one time that Lee and I butted heads because I remember yelling to him, I'm like, Siena's not doing this, and
And then we finished with our last workout as team squat jumps from the bottom step all the way up to Lee, who was sitting at the very top up there. And not one guy could jump unless everybody else jumped with him. So we all would count off together and just jump in unison from the bottom step, and we did it all the way up to the very top.
Find meaning in the way you play this game. 2.
What Lee really wanted to capture was the fact that when all those guys graduate, everyone sits on that amphitheater. And I think he really wanted them to remember that, this is what we're working for. And then, when you're sitting there at graduation, you'd be like, yeah, I fell on this step, I cut my knee open, or I suffered through this. And I think they'll look back on it fondly.
he does have a reason for, there's a reason for his madness. Like, he's got a method to his madness. But I didn't see it at that time when my legs were burning, and I'm thinking all I want to do is sleep and rest up for tomorrow.
You remember this, because one day you're going to be standing here, turning around, looking at that. You understand me?
Yeah, I think I might peak when I graduate now.
Bring it in tight, come on, hurry up. Bring it in tight. Team teammates up on 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Team teammates up, Red Hawks!
The hockey team is starting to build a buzz around campus. The Hawks' late-night practices and outdoor team building sessions have inspired fans to show up at Floyd Hall in record numbers.
They have this huge fan base that I don't think they've ever had, ever. And yeah, I think it's only going to get better from here.
They are incredible. I wish that we had fans like this when I play. If they come support this team, whether we're winning or losing, and there's more of them than the football team has.
One of the loudest and best-known fans is Dan Earhart, but to those at MSU, he is known simply as the Super Fan.
Beginning of the season, we were pretty small fan base, but then around November, started winning games, and kids were like, oh hey, there's a hockey team on campus, and I guess that's when my super fandom started emerging, I guess you could say.
They're loud, they're there till the last buzzer, and they're behind us and they support us 100% no matter what. I think that shows something to the team that people do actually care about us and want to come watch us play.
I think the Sox is my favorite chant, and I know like at the beginning of the games, like the first few games, I would be like, do the sock chant.
I went to a Bucknell football game, and one of the fans had a pair of these pink socks, and he would stand there, and he would just hold them up, and he'd go,
None of our chants are ever, like, it gets the fans going, but it's not like sitting there like cursing. Like, it's like we're joking around, but it gets us going, it gets the guys playing.
I don't think they even realize how great they are as fans and like the impact it makes on us players when we're on the ice, when we're getting ready to play the game. You really don't know the magnitude that these types of fans have, you know? You guys are awesome. Great job.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Kyle.
That's
Did you have to?
And cut.
Siena. Easily one of the most powerful teams in the last 10 years in the Super East. Siena also sits atop the Northeast rankings. Tonight, the Hawks will find out how far they have come in 3 months, or see how far they have to go.
Ginther, the captain, gains the blue line, works into the zone, drops one for Waite. Waite has it knocked away. Crosby grabs it, puts a wrister on net, he scores! Montclair out in front with the early 1-0 lead. Puck loose in the slot, Delsano spins, shoots, Biagioli. Hawks bring it out of their own zone, but a turnover here in the neutral zone. Harjung drops it off to Hoski, through the circle, quick wrist shot, score! On the breakaway, the captain shoots, he scores, top shelf, he beats Brown and we're tied at 2. Here's an opportunity for the Red Hawks, 2-1, Ginther shoots, he scores on the turnover, the wrister gives Montclair a 4-3 lead, it's Ginther's second goal of the game. Finds Messina in front, shoots, score! Tie game, Siena comes right back. Final seconds will tick off, and it looks like we're playing bonus hockey. Montclair, one of the top teams in the region, Siena. Gains the blue line, winds up a shot, it goes in! It deflects off a skate from about 50 feet out, and Siena wins it 5-4.
It was just awful. Like, after that, it was like 10 seconds of silence. And I just was oh, why?
When the puck went in the net, you could probably see it on my face. I probably don't know what to do because the game ended so suddenly. It was in slow motion in my head. You know, I think we're going to find this year how we deal with moments like that, adversity. That's what makes us who we are. And these are stepping stones. You know what? At the end of the day, we played the #1 ranked team to a 1-goal game in overtime that we very well could have won.
Us being the #9 seed right now, playing against the #1 seed, we played really well. They knew that we should have won that game. I mean, the game was in our hands.
From when I've started playing, there's no way we'd beat a #1 seed. No way. no way. And this year, I mean, losing overtime on a fluke goal, it happens. But I mean, you know.
Turnover here in the zone. Anderson now in the slot, receives the pass, shoots, he scores! And the Red Hawks fall in overtime for the second night in a row. It happens again here against New York, 3-2 the final.
Well, those losses actually were really tough. You know, they do take a toll on these guys, and they just need to understand that even though they were beat, you know, they weren't outplayed. So we need to just take those losses, channel the focus on UNH, and just beat them up at their place 2 times in a row.
Sometimes it can help you, you know, that'll be the extra motivation, that'll give you the extra push and the extra stride in front of someone. And, you know, when you need that extra win, the game after a big loss, that'll just push you that much harder.
The team is traveling to New Hampshire for a weekend doubleheader. The preferred method of travel for club hockey players isn't exactly glamorous, but the team isn't complaining.
The road trips are great. I mean, that's where I think really teams come together, because you're forced to stay with each other, sleep with each other. So they're great. You get to go out to eat, get to play hockey, get to have fun. On the ice, off the ice, on road trips is fun.
Oh, you can't do that.
If you do that,
then you go in the box.
You go in the box.
2 minutes by yourself.
Stupid penalty. Stupid penalty.
You feel shame.
You feel shame.
And then you go free.
Even though we did roll in around 3 o'clock in the morning, we didn't probably go to sleep till 4 or 5.
How about cross-check?
Oh,
oh wait. Hold on. Okay. Softly. Oh my God.
And then you got flashes like that, slashes in the spear.
The Hawks are wide awake the next day when they arrive to play Super East rival UNH.
Live from the Wit in Durham, New Hampshire, the Red Hawks get set to take on UNH for the first time this year after back-to-back overtime losses. Puck drop, face off, 1-2-4, controls out the star at the point, puts one on net, he scores! Gibber with the puck behind the net, puts it out in front, Crosby puts it in, score! Tie game, 1-1. Drops, face off, control by Montclair to the slot, quick shot, save made by Bramante. Dufour digging at the puck along the point, a big hit by Ian Crane. Tim Feely lowers the boom. Red Hawks trying to clear it out of the corner as the final seconds tick off. They do so, and we are headed to overtime, 3rd game in a row, and they will try and snap the skid at UNH. 2-on-1 here in overtime. Pass across the middle, shoots, he scores! Montclair with the victory, 2-1 in overtime. After losing back-to-back overtime games to Siena and at NYU, the Red Hawks prevail here in Durham.
The overtime game winner that Crosby put in the net was, after 2 losses in a row, I just couldn't move on the bench. I just sat down.
The next day, the Hawks will have a surprise addition to their lineup.
Brian Waite was sick and he wasn't going to make the trip. We called him after the overtime win and he said, you know, he was feeling a little bit better, he was still sick, but his father was going to drive him back up.
Tried getting out of my bed, called my dad. I was like, I'm still throwing up, but you know what? I'm making it to this game. So had my dad pick me up at 4:30 a.m. and we drove 4.5 long hours.
He didn't have to come. It's a long trip. He had to get up early, drive all night, and he made the trip, and that really shows a lot.
Road sweeps are tough to come by here in the Super East, but that's exactly what Montclair will try to do this afternoon. Takes the shot himself, he scores, beats Bramante, and Montclair takes a 1-0 lead. Centering pass, Waite in the slot, he scores! Brian Waite! He made the 4.5-hour trip this morning after battling the stomach flu. UNH forges ahead into the offensive zone, pass over to Gashian, shoots, he scores! Breaks towards the net, shot save made, but Casper crashes the net. Did it cross the line? It did. Puck in the crease, UNH defenseman tries to clear it out. Shot save made, second time save, third time's a charm! Zach Lancaster! And no better way to bounce back from heartbreaking losses than a sweep on the road in New Hampshire.
you could just feel the seesaw tip the other way, finally. You know, you could feel the season has taken a turn. Now instead of battling battling up from the bottom, you know, we're in the middle. Now we're going for the top. The top's in sight. We've gotten over the mountain. Now we can see it.
Tonight, the Red Hawks will play their final game of the fall semester. The team will also be starting a new tradition as they induct an inaugural class into the newly formed MSU Hockey Hall of Fame.
This Friday's Hall of Fame alumni ceremony is a big deal for us. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time. To let the players know that A, there's a past to this program, B, there's going to be a future.
A couple of guys that came back, they were seniors when I was a freshman, came to the alumni dinner, and, you know, they were really excited because they've been, you know, not sitting around, but for 4 years, they haven't had anything to really look back on. You know, they might have an old jersey here, maybe a trophy here, but they don't really have anything that shows that they came and played collegiate level hockey.
Even though we're on our way out, they're all young, and that's something that's going to build on make such a strong foundation for the team.
When the inductees came in and talked, and you know, they were adults, and the kids could see this, you could see it hit their faces. This team is bigger than me.
Having, you know, a dinner and, you know, team that looks up to you and have, you know, show that this team has a history. It doesn't end when, you know, your 4 years are up.
As a token of his own appreciation for the organization, Coach Elias donates 2 Montclair State Championship banners to the team, which are hung in the arena prior to the game.
It finally got us into that rink. We've won championships in the past, and we're going to win them in the future. So to have those 2 banners hanging there now definitely mean a lot to the team.
After the ceremony, the Red Hawks take to the ice in front of a packed crowd of family, friends, students, and former players.
Everything going the Red Hawks' way tonight. Finds a streaking back through, he makes the move, he scores another goal for the Red Hawks. The rout is on. And Brian Waite adds to a barrage of Red Hawks goals. He's scored in consecutive games now for Montclair. Bouncing puck loose in front of the net, and Brian Waite somehow in the middle of 3 green jerseys finds the puck and goes 5-hole.
The first semester has come to an end. The Red Hawk family is stronger than ever. And with the race to the playoffs looming, their bond will be tested again and again in the coming months. Over winter break, the boys will head home to spend time with their other families, the ones they were born into. Sean and Brian's families are well known by the whole team, as they are at most home and away games.
It's about an hour and 40 minutes, according to traffic.
We traveled to New Hampshire in the snow. It was 10 hours.
The 2 of them, those 2 families, they go everywhere together.
The Gunthers would pick Deb up here in Cinnaminson, and they would drive up to Bordentown. I'd leave my car at a diner and leave my car there, and we'd all still go up together. And
we pray that his car
pray that my car's still there when I come back 2 days later, you know.
It's awesome. It really makes you feel good when your parents or anybody even comes along for the ride, whether it's an hour away or 6 hours away.
I couldn't ask for a better family. They're crazy, but whose family isn't? I mean, they make trips to everywhere. It's hard for me to say who my #1 fan is, but I would probably have to give it to the little one. She's really the only person I'll acknowledge in between periods, so. But I'm sure my mom and my grandfather are going to kill me for that one, but.
It's special because everybody knows her. When she's not there, everybody's like, where's Sydney? Why isn't Sydney here? And you kind of don't think that it's 3 o'clock in the morning because she's there till 3 o'clock in the morning every other night.
You pretty good big brother?
Yes.
Yeah? What do you think of the rest of the team?
Yes.
Why do we do it? Oh, God only knows. Because we love hockey, and we love Sean, and we love to watch him play.
Oh, we love Brian. Yeah.
The rest of the team, this is a great group of kids.
Yeah.
What a nice change after the last 2 years. What a great group of boys. They really seem to have bonded. It's become they seem to be like a nice family together.
You know, one of the reasons we have a great team and a great family unit here is because our players come from great families. You know, you hear from the parents, you hear from the Crosbys, you hear from the Gunthers, and you know, the Zulos. You can see why these kids are the way they are. It's a wonderful thing.
Although the team is off from hockey duties, the coaches are busy as ever.
Yeah, Lee puts in a lot of hours every week with driving to work up in Connecticut and then coming back down for practices late at night. I don't know how he does it. We call him the Energizer Bunny. He just plugs himself in at night after practice and somehow stays awake all day, every day.
Joe Balance, without a doubt, puts in probably 22-hour days with anywhere from coaching Montclair, and then he coaches at a local youth hockey team. And then he can coach all the way up. I would say he may be on the ice for like 6-7 hours a day on top of working his 9-to-5 job.
As hard as it is to come out to late night practices and almost, you know, sometimes 3 games a week, it's an outlet. It's a great time. I love being around the guys. I love being around these guys. So it's family away from family and, you know, work away from work. But you know what they say, when you have fun with what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Lee and Joey and Adam putting in the time like that is amazing. It means a lot to us as players because we know that if they put in that many hours of commitment to just coaching us, then they really care about us and they really care about the team and how well we do.
Many of the players also use their time off to make some extra cash. Not surprisingly, most of their jobs are hockey related.
Sports Plus can help you. Working here during the week, I could put in hour-wise anywhere between 25 and 40 depending on practice schedules, class schedules, game schedules. All that comes into play when I'm working here.
Well, when I'm not with the Red Hawks, you know, I'm working for the Devils. I'm also working here. I do private lessons as well as work for the clinics. So besides that, I mean, I probably spend about, I'd say, maybe about 20 hours a week on hockey outside of Red Hawks.
I am coaching for the goalie school that I've been going to since I was about 17, 18 years old.
No, I've never had any other jobs besides hockey. I've been working here since I was about 13, both as a volunteer and then, you know, as a paid employee. But no, I mean, every job that I've ever had has been hockey related.
In the spirit of the holiday season, the Hawks receive an early gift.
When Lee called me and he was talking to me about the rankings came out, I was expecting 7 or 6 because of who we are. When we were ranked 5th after not being ranked after the first ranking period, for our program, that meant a lot. I think we've got all that rebuilding stuff past us after the first ranking period.
They can really see it's working. Hey, we're doing, you know, we're having an impact. It's working, and for them, that's really important.
In 1 week, the students of MSU will return for the spring semester. But for the Red Hawks, the semester's workload started 24 hours ago.
We need to work harder than ever right now. We need the guys to understand that, know that, commit to that. You know, we're going to a game against Marist, who's ranked 3rd, and you know, we're going to be prepared for that game.
We'll be seeing red tonight at Floyd Hall Arena as the Montclair Red Hawks protect their home ice against the Marist Red Foxes in from Poughkeepsie, New York. Montclair newly ranked at number 5 against the number 3 Red Foxes. Here comes Rich, only the goalie to beat, makes a move, shot high over the crossbar. Fox may have gotten a piece of it.
In the locker room after the first, we knew we had a game on our hands. Like, it wasn't going to be a blowout. We knew going into the game it wasn't going to be a blowout. But after the first period, going in there nothing, we knew for a fact that we were in for a game.
Through the neutral zone, looking to strike first, 2-on-1 opportunity. Give and go. Shot, score! He beats Fox, 1-0 Marist. Montclair on the man advantage, look to start the breakup. Long pass up to Wade, he goes over the blue line himself, skates to the top of the circle, finds Pope into the slot, shot, score! 1-1! We're tied, it's a brand new game. Kevin Rich wide open, calling for the slot, he gets the puck, he shoots, he scores. How did he ever get so open? It's Kevin Rich's 2nd goal of the game, 2-1 Marist. Chance for Montclair, time running low, pass into the middle, finds Crosby, and Crosby ties it up, 2-2. Montclair talking X's and O's before the extra frame. If anybody knows how to handle themselves in overtime, this Redhawks team has had plenty of practice as of late. We're set to go in the extra frame. Puck drops. We are underway. Montclair almost turns it over on their own end, but they control the opening faceoff. Shot from the point. Gifter setting the screen in front of the net. It goes high and over. The goalie goes down. Frey is down. Not getting up. Gifter still in the middle. He puts it in as play continues. And Montclair takes the win.
You see Gunther, he wasn't even striding. He wasn't even skating. He just literally ran to the blue line. And I don't even think he really meant to tackle weight. I think it just kind of happened like that. And everybody else just kept piling on and piling on. So, I mean, it was just like, it was another one of those feelings and one of those moments that you'll just like never forget.
It's great. It's painful, but it's awesome. You're on the bottom, you can't breathe sometimes. And that particular one, I looked at Gunther's face was red, telling everyone to get up. So I'm screaming, get up. Everyone was on top of us. But, I mean, it was great. It's a good feeling. I'm better.
You know, that moment sticks out of my head as like really like one of our greatest moments of the season, because not only was it an overtime win, we came back as a team. You know, Popan scored on a 3-on-2. I scored. Gunther scored in overtime, and not once did we give up all game.
With another week of practice gone by, the Hawks are traveling to New England to play against Siena and Holy Cross for the second time this season. However, unlike the other road trips this year, MSU is finding that getting to the game may be more of a problem than playing in it.
Siena, everything went wrong. Everything went wrong. The bus showed up late. We got up there late. Had 5 minutes to get dressed. You know, you can't operate in those type of settings. And it showed on the ice. We couldn't get going. They put a few pucks in there quickly, and morale went down. It was a tough game. It was a tough game to be at. I mean, it's tough when you travel that far and you can't find the rink.
From getting there 10 minutes beforehand to, you know, starting out slow to not being accustomed to the large ice surface, you know, took a toll on the team, and they jumped on us quickly. A couple chances, we had a goal disallowed in the first, and it was the goal could have, you know, swung the game either way, but you know, it just wasn't working for us that night.
The Hawks have a 3-hour ride to their hotel and a day off before they next take to the ice. They will have plenty of time to reflect on the loss and to regroup for the next game.
We had a day off on Saturday, just hanging out as a team. Went around and visited Boston, walked around Quincy Market for a while. We had a lot of time to relax and just like get back down to earth and just not worry about hockey for a day.
You know, on the road, in the past, you know, we played pranks on each other. Just what matters most is that you don't do anything stupid.
Today, the Red Hawks are all business as they take on Holy Cross. While 2 points are on the line, the Hawks have some extra motivation. Charlie Kemline will make his first start in over 2 months after recovering from a broken hand.
It's 2.5 months I'd like to have back. We dropped some games here or there, and I know I'm a big contributor to the team.
We weren't worried at all. I mean, we have 2 #1 goalies. We have 2 of the best goalies in the league, if not the best goalies in the league. In Holy Cross, we just came out flying. We came out like they stole something from us, you know?
Kemline and the Hawks looking great today. Score! The Hawks power play continues to click.
Our power play, especially against Holy Cross, was more than effective. I don't know our percentage, but we were phenomenal. I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but beep beep.
With the end of the regular season looming, the Hawks are finding themselves in a sprint to the finish line in both the league and division rankings. The Hawks' next challenge will be the second-ranked Central Connecticut State University Blue Devils.
Through the neutral zone, working on the freshman defenseman. Eric Zula goes right around him, right shoots, he scores! Top shelf! Kulak with a big hit behind the net, but the pass gets through to DiClemente. He puts it right past Fox. Fires one from the point, rebound, knocked down in front, shoots, he scores! Dabkowski makes a move and he scores! A power play going. Puck kept into the blue lane by Wade. He finds Crosby, shot, save, rebound, score! Baxter puts it in and it's 4-1. DiClemente now on a break, all alone, scoring chance, makes the move and he scores 5-1. Hard to believe that this is the team that was victorious 8-3 last time out against Holy Cross. Surely the ugliest loss of the season for Montclair. Another goal, 9-1, just 7 seconds left on the clock.
Seemed like back towards in the earlier part of the season, we didn't have that confidence where if something happened and something didn't go our way, the puck bounced the wrong way, it kind of broke our backs and we didn't have a way to recover from it.
When you play good teams like Central Connecticut, you have to play a smart system because we're not going to out-talent anyone in this league. So we have to win on our systems, and if we don't, that's going to happen. I mean, we proved it against Central Connecticut and for a lot of the part against Siena the weekend before.
The loss is devastating. Getting blown out is the ultimate test of a team and an individual's resolve, especially so when there is a game the next night.
I think we were definitely ready for that UConn game to take the step in the right direction. We kind of took a huge step backwards the night before, and we wanted to correct that and get back on the right track. First part of the game, I don't think we followed through on that. We had the mindset to do that, but we didn't do that with our play.
Nothing surprised me. UConn was a very, very good team. They were not a number 10 team. They were a big physical team, almost identical. Maybe not as deep, but as their first 2-3 lines were identical to Central Connecticut. So when we went out there, I think the first period it was like when we were playing Central Connecticut again.
We had a big 5-minute penalty kill to start the second period that just seemed to turn it all around and kick everybody in gear, and from then on we seemed to do what we needed to do.
Huskies pull their goalie, and as they do, Crosby takes control of the puck, fires the shot, he scores the empty netter! The insurance, the nail in the coffin, 4-2.
The Hawks are hot and cold right now, and the players can feel the season beginning to wear on them.
The team is just being inconsistent with their play and with their whole personality as a group, you know, not being intense and on each other, like we've been saying the past 3 weeks, accountable.
A lot of these guys are fresh into a season that we put them into, not used to playing as many games. The challenges of school, on top of hockey, on top of just everyday life, you know, is going to bear down on them.
We've both agreed a number of times, it's not about the loss, it's about how you've lost the game. If you lose in a battle, you lose in a battle. There's nothing wrong with that. If you lose because you get in your own way, if you lose because of insecurity, if you lose because guys aren't being accountable, if you lose for any reason under the book other than you didn't try hard, there's a problem.
The new rankings have come out. The team has fallen from 5th to 6th place, their first drop all season. Hoping to send a message to the team, the coaches give the players a little extra push at practice.
We skated nonstop for the first 15, 20 minutes of practice, just so in the games we get started on the right foot right away, right from the drop of the puck. They haven't been happy with the way we've played the first part of games, that we've kind of taken a while to wake up and get into the game. They want us to get going right away.
Refocused, the Hawks take to the ice for their second game versus Cross River rival, New York University.
Lancaster parked in front, save made, another try, another save, puts it in for the goal, 1-0 Montclair. That's the weak side face-off circle, shoots, scores!
We came out flying, 3 goals. My line we scored both our first 2 shifts.
We threw everything we had at them, and we were all over it.
MSU out to the big start.
And we had the momentum, we had the skill, we were killing them. And then we just started taking penalties one after another, even though we realized that you can't stop that slow play.
Martin skates to the top of the slot, lines one up, he scores! 3-2, suddenly a 1-goal game. Another penalty. The Hawks continue to shoot themselves in the foot.
Disappointed in the team as a whole, because that second period was us losing it. It was selfish hockey.
I'm really disappointed in the discipline of the team in the second period. That's what lost the game for us, was the discipline in the second period.
You know, what's really bothersome about this situation is it's so late in the season, and that's a mistake an experienced team would do, and I thought we overcame that in October, November. You know, the playoffs are around the corner here, and you know, it's kind of like we got back to, you know, really being lackadaisical out there, nonchalant at times. And what impressed me about NYU is they were very resilient. They never gave up, which is what you expect out of teams, and we couldn't answer the challenge, I think, because of their intensity.
Continuing with their hot and cold streak, the Hawks come out flying the next night against UMass. Early on, it is evident Montclair has put the previous night's game behind them.
The Red Hawks sticking it to the UMass Minutemen tonight. You have to like what you're seeing, 6-1. However, you'd like to see a little bit more consistency from Montclair.
If the Hawks are going to persuade the league that they are more than just a team with a few fluke wins, they need to get back to a concept their coaches have been preaching to them all season.
One of the things we push for the guys is the 60-minute concept. There's 60 minutes in a game. You play 59 minutes, you could very well lose on that 1 minute you don't play.
Lee kind of gets that in your head from the first practice. Lets you know what 60 minutes is. You don't slack off for a minute. We were skating, no pucks, 60 minutes practice.
Everyone knows if you play 60 minutes in a hockey game, you're really not going to lose.
And that's been our concept from day one. If we play 60 minutes, we know we can play with anybody. And I mean, there were times during the season that we didn't play a full 60 minutes and it showed.
Whenever you get back on your heels, whenever you shy away from a hit, whenever you don't finish a check, you're, giving that team window of opportunity. So you need to play all out for those 60 minutes, because the times that you do let up, the other team's going to come right back at you.
For their final game of the regular season, the Hawks are making their farthest trip yet. The 6-hour ride to Penn State University gives the team plenty of time to think about what is riding on the outcome of this game. A win will guarantee the Hawks a playoff spot. A loss will leave their chances to fate.
A virtual must-win for the Red Hawks tonight. The puck drops. We are underway at Penn State. He's leveled in open ice by Kubek. Puck taken by Huckenstein. He shoots, and he scores. It's 1-0 Penn State. Scrum in front of the net. Cusick swings it and chips it in. What a goal! A hard-fought goal by Cusick. Bowser spills to the ice, and he will be slow to get off the Red Hawks bench. Wants a whistle. Shot save made by Fox, but Fox is run into and taken out. This is getting completely out of hand.
We travel out there, it's a 6-hour bus ride. The guys are ready to go. The playoffs are on the line. We have to win that game to ensure we're getting in the playoffs. And what happened was, I just felt like personally that you know, we were being haunted by the demons of the past, in the sense that, you know, the refs treated us, not that this is an excuse, but the refs treated us like we were the old team, that we were a dirty team, making some really questionable calls, in my opinion. You know, Penn State was all over us, which, you know, I expected, and the guys just never got a chance to do what they had come to do. As soon as the Penn State game ended and the Super East playoffs were kind of out of our hands, I had a really bad feeling. UNH and NYU were playing each other, and one of those teams, believe it or not, had to win. The only way we couldn't make the playoffs was if they tied.
The wait to hear the score that will decide their Super East fate feels like an eternity. It isn't until the next morning that the scores finally come out.
The Super East Championship this year was important to me, but I think it was important to me more for Brian than for myself, because I knew that he didn't have another chance at it, so I wanted it for him more than I wanted it for myself.
Disappointing, but now the way that it's been put, that we're the only team in regionals that hasn't made Super East, and that's basically do or die for us, I think it turned out maybe even better for us. Because now we don't go into regionals thinking, you know what, we win, we go to nationals, but if we lose, we still got Super East, and we can't even think like that now because we don't have Super East. So it was definitely frustrating after all the hard work you put in all season, you know.
The Hawks' regular and Super East season has come to an end. However, there is one final exhibition game left at home versus UConn. As is a tradition with most teams, tonight Montclair will honor its departing seniors.
It's going to be a pretty emotional night for Brian and myself. I mean, it's something that him going out in front of me in the locker room, something's been going on for the last 4 years. So for it to be the last time here at Floyd Hall, it's definitely going to be a little tough to get over. I feel the same way for Jared as I do for Brian. Just like the bond that me and Crosby have, as me and Jared being defensemen together, there's another connection there that we have. I mean, we've hung out a lot over the past 4 years. It's got to happen sooner or later. It just sucks it's happening now.
The seniors with a framed picture montage of their senior season. We hope that these montages will be viewed upon for years to come by both the Crosby and Hall families with great pride and admiration.
Because nothing like that has ever been done with Montclair hockey until this year. Not even close, you know what I mean? So it definitely felt good.
After tonight, every game you play could be your last. Okay? That makes this night a very important night. Aside from it being the last home game for these guys, last home game of this season, which you will all remember this season. Okay? It's the last home game for the fans, who have been really good this year, guys. I mean, I don't think I need to talk about that. They've been unbelievable. They love you. This school loves you. I want to think about that for a moment, what you've accomplished at this school this year. You've accomplished the impossible, a locker room, a winning record. Okay? You bonded as a team. You've won a lot of games, guys. You've done a lot here. 60 minutes tonight. This should be the easiest time to play 60 minutes of any game during the season. Put yourself in the senior shoes, gentlemen. Feel it for a half a second if you have to. They will never play in this arena again on this team. Teamwork, team play, okay? Brotherhood never meant more than it does right now.
Senior night here at Floyd Hall Arena as Montclair gets set to take on the UConn Huskies. For the Hawks, it's their last home game of the year. Well, it is a blackout in the stands, as what seems like the entire crowd is showing up in black attire to support the Hawks. UConn the opportunity, 2-on-1 pass for Rosenblum, shot, top shelf, glove side, he scores. He's in the corner, some nifty work with the stick, nice move, looks to Lancaster, sneaks in behind and scores! Lancaster ties it up, 1-1. Not out of goal piece, Ginther with a puck under pressure, crossing pass, gets it over to Baxter, who scores! Makes it 2-1. Frasciello all alone, skating down the slot, shot, save, rebound, score! Frasciello! The Red Hawks and Huskies finish at a 3-3 tie, what basically amounted to an exhibition game played outside the ranking period. Both teams looking ahead to the regional tournament.
Obviously, it's a little weird thinking to yourself that you're not going to play here next year, but I mean, I had a great time this season, and everyone kept coming up to me after the game. You know, it was great playing with you, and I'm like, we're not done yet.
The regional tournament. A single elimination format pitting teams ranked 3 through 10 against each other. The 2 teams left standing will get a ticket to the national tournament, something the Hawks have never made. In their first game, Montclair will take on a familiar foe.
NYU. Whew. I guess we all know we all hate NYU.
And you're wearing purple.
Yeah.
Right?
I wore purple in high school.
It sucks.
Yeah, I hate the Violets. They suck. What kind of name's that? Violets?
I don't think there's a better team we could play first round. We should come in and just smoke them. We got all the momentum. We got all the revenge built up. Good week of practice. We're definitely prepared. And a lot of guys, it's their first time going into playoffs, so we definitely have the motivation.
I love playoffs. I've always just enjoyed just that up-tempo game that during playoffs, everything just gets heightened up a notch where you're just going at it and that's it. I've always enjoyed that because I like just going all out and not worrying about if I have a game tomorrow, I'll just play for that game.
Almost as a reflection of their entire season, the Hawks face roadblocks immediately.
Waking up early Friday morning and having to drive all the way up to New Hampshire through a major snowstorm really sucked. Having to get up early for a 6 or 7 o'clock game, knowing we were going to get stuck in traffic, knowing we were going to be crammed on a bus for 5.5 hours, really wasn't something I was looking forward to. Knowing that NYU went up the night before and that they were there already, they were sleeping, they were in bed, they were still in bed by the time we were halfway there. It was just another type of adversity that we had to face, just like we faced all year. When it started to get to like 5:30 and nobody had any idea where we were, I was starting to get worried. And getting there again 15 minutes before the game started, it was just like, here we go again.
The Red Hawks 2 wins away from uncharted territory, a trip to the national championship tournament. Kubek shot, rebound, score! Montclair takes a 1-0 lead. Looks to make a move, goes left from the faceoff circle, shot, scored! Beats the goaltender. Traffic has the puck knocked off his stick. Right to DeFranco. DeFranco shoots, scores. Wait, gets it in the slot, takes a shot, score! The one-man show tonight makes a nice move and scores again. Anderson, like Bowser, skates in right side all alone, takes a shot, top shelf, he scores! Crosby, the captain, with the man advantage in the empty net. Montclair takes care of NYU, and they're set to head to the next round of the tournament.
My first playoff game as a coach, and we had a game plan set, and we just followed through. And to win that game was just, what you saw there was energy being released. It was just, finally we've beaten this team, and it was the first for me, and it's first playoff win for the team in some time.
Advancing to the second round of regionals is the farthest any Red Hawk team has ever gone. They are now in uncharted territory. Awaiting the team back at their hotel was a team dinner prepared by who else but their loyal fans, the Crosbys and the Ginthers.
We were thinking that it was going to be a busy weekend. They needed good food, that they needed to play hard the next day. They'd have to have a decent meal. In between, we knew it would be late. They'd be hungry. They loved it. They ate it all. It was great.
Thank you.
Even after Mrs. Crosby set off the fire alarm in our hotel.
That dinner was exactly what we needed. I mean, it really was tough not to look around the room and not see a family just sitting there, and to realize how much we've accomplished this season alone opposed to previous seasons. I mean, it was just a perfect cap off to that night.
All of Montclair's sacrifices and hard work this season are now paying off. Regardless of who the team faces tomorrow, it is guaranteed that the Red Hawks will play as a team in the literal meaning of the word. Tomorrow they will win or lose together.
We knew what we were up against. Whoever we played, it was going to be a tough team. And when it turned out to be Bryant that we were playing, we knew we could beat them because we had already beaten them once that season, but we knew that they were a physical team. They were going to bring everything they had to the table and just play their style of hockey, and we knew what we had to do to counteract that.
Today, Montclair will play Bryant for the second time this season. The team that wins will go to the national tournament. The team that loses will see the end of their season.
Wrapping around behind the net, looking from the gas all alone. He camps out, he puts it in. 1-0 looking to clear almost some trouble there. Hannon in the corner, trying to dig it out. Crosby put some pressure on. Montclair still trying to clear, but a pass into the middle and Moore tips it home past Fox. And it's 2-0 Bulldogs. In the corner, Wade absorbs the hit but drops one for Crosby. Crosby centering pass, shot save. Crosby with the rebound, he scores! 2-1, Montclair is on the board. Link taking himself over the blue line, fires a wrist shot off the post and in, hits the inside of the post. Now Jones with the puck, top of the slot, fires one towards net, score! Link with one goal already in this one, wins a loose puck in the neutral zone, skates in, slap shot, score! Link! As we get underway, an opportunity here, puck out front, Rohrig in front, he tips it home! Rohrig makes it a one-goal game just 12 seconds into the third period. They're at possession near the blue line, LeBlanc setting a big screen right out in front, shot on net, he scores! The screen works. Moore gets to the puck first, sends it out front to Hannon, a one-timer, he scores, it's 7-4.
Brian and Jared, even if they didn't know it, they were, I think, the driving factor for everybody in that game. And I think, along with the way we played every game all year, without giving up and playing to the last shift, having Brian and Jared, that ending up being their last game was definitely a huge factor for us to keep playing.
I knew I was going to be out there for like a long shift and basically out there for like 2 minutes, and I don't think I stopped moving the whole time. And the whole time I'm like thinking, this is the last one. It's like here. It's like we're not going to win. We were down like 3 goals, I think, and managed to poke one in. And while that's good and everything, it was like, I'm like a mess. I can barely see anymore. I'm like, can't breathe, and then all this is going on, and all the while I don't want to stop moving. Like I want to keep going. I wanted to play another period. I wanted to keep going because you don't want to see it. You don't want to see it end. You don't want to experience it. And then all of a sudden, like as you see the clock tick down, it's just like, and then boom, like the legs give out. Like time's up. Like that's it. It's over.
At the final buzzer, the Hawks' emotions overflow.
We couldn't even utter a word to each other. It was just a mutual feeling that, we did our best. They did their best. They were there. They showed their support. I did my best. The team, we all played our best, and that's all you can really ask for. And it was just like, all in one hug. It was like, I love you. Thank you for everything. I just really appreciate you being here, sort of thing, all in like one hug, because like I couldn't get any words out.
Tonight the Hawks have their final practice of the season, but this one isn't like the rest.
After regionals, that just made me realize how much we did accomplish and how much, we did take a step forward from previous year.
Every guy in this team is like your brother, and every guy that pulls on a different jersey is like your worst enemy.
If I had to define MSU hockey, I would say that it's definitely a family. Like, a lot of close-knit guys. There's not another team like that.
They connect so well and they're so goofy together off the ice, but then when they get on the ice, it works. I don't know how else to explain it, but
there is no comparison two completely different worlds. Last year was not a team. This year is a team.
The school takes us a lot more serious now. We got a lot of funding from student government. I mean, just things like that. I mean, it shows itself, you know. So it was definitely exciting to see, and it's definitely exciting to, you know, hopefully see in the future that it'll keep up. And I have faith in the coaching staff and the players.
Think about the wins and the losses, and off ices, and the freezing cold rain, and practices till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and you know, all that encompasses who we are now. And that's our identity. And that was our goal from the start of this season, was to have an identity. We did that, and I'm just so proud of that.
With a young team like this, with 15 new guys to this type of hockey, it's kind of just like you get to a point and you hit a wall. You feel like your body can't go any further, any harder, and it kind of just gets to be, it feels like it drags on. But I mean, it's something that a lot of these guys know now. They know how to deal with it. They know what to do to get over that hump. And next year it's going to be a completely different year.
You know, and everybody dug deep. Everybody like looked at the guy next to him and picked each other up when they were down. And you know, that's all we needed. We were a team. We were the most closely knit team I've ever been a part of. And you know, when I think of the word team, I think of MSU Redhawks, like 2007, 2008. That is the team that is what comes to mind when I think of the word team.
Almost 1 year ago, the Montclair State Redhawks hockey team walked off the ice with their heads down and their spirits broken. Tonight, the Redhawks hold their heads high and are alive. Victory for this team will never be measured in wins and losses, but in that of the bond that was created. From the youngest players, to the oldest, to the parents, to the coaches, to the fans. They have all fortified their team a future. That is a victory that is not measured in awards or tangible things. It cannot be seen on a mantle or in a trophy case. This team has defined teamwork. This team will be remembered. This team will serve as a foundation for many Montclair teams to come. The story is just beginning.